It's been helpful, very, very helpful to me. I wanted to mention that this isn't the first time I have sort of withdrawn from much media. I did it probably a year ago after I had read a couple of books. One, The Shallows, how the internet has changed our brains. A really good book. It's on our website as a resource. I'm really experiencing, I think, kind of in real time, how having too much input coming from outside is not good. It's not good for the brain or the mind or the soul. I don't think it's good for the brain. I think the brain gets conditioned. I think the dopamine factor is huge. I think the attention span of our brains is being radically limited. I think that's just dangerous, both for the individual and for society as a whole, because I don't feel like people who consume a lot of media are, especially internet sort of media, social media and headlines, boom, 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 highly stimulating to the brain. It gets addictive, but not necessarily an even pleasant addiction. It's just a craving for something more and heightened stimulation. And I think that's dangerous. And that's not even talking about content. That's just the process of seeing highly stimulating stuff coming at me and rapid amounts of information, even if they're emails I've subscribed to that I have some interest in, but it's not good. It's not good to have bang, 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 all this stuff. And I don't think it leads to any kind of calm, thoughtful deliberation about things. In fact, I think it makes it hard to calmly and quietly ponder ideas, feelings, get deeper insights. So I'm very glad I did this again. I didn't do it for 4 days, I don't think, the last time. I think I just kind of shut some stuff off and said, I'm not doing that anymore. But it's sort of insidious about how it kind of works its way back in. And I've been noticing that today. There's kind of this reality of trying to balance getting away from all of that too much stimulation with just needing to live one's day-to-day life. And I'm a pretty active person and I do a lot of stuff. So it's very seductive to turn back on and see, oh, did they respond? Oh, do I have a message? Oh, is there an email? And it's kind of become part of life. How much of that's really necessary? And I was glad I alerted all the, my kids and a couple of friends. I won't be responding quickly to things. So I knew I wasn't gonna scare anybody if I didn't email them back within a half a day or, God forbid, even within 15 minutes. We're expecting this high stim, quick response. Everything's fast. And I think that's dopamine. And I have listened to the book on tape, Dopamine Nation by Anna Lemke. And part of the reason I listened to it is my ability to read went way down. And about a year ago, I looked at that and said, that's not okay. That I don't have an attention span that allows me to sit down and actually read a book. And I started working on that. I started just sitting down with books and actually reading books, like the whole thing. Even fiction, I wasn't able to sustain. And it was that craving, that dopamine craving for more stimulation, immediate gratification. It's tricky integrating the learning into big lifestyle change. And it's not that big for me. I mean, really, I did a huge amount of cutting back a year ago. Pretty much don't let myself ever just sit down and just graze the internet. I just don't. But it's tempting, and it had slid back in, which is why I decided to do this. It had creeped back in where, oh, you can always just kind of pick up the phone, or you can always get on the internet and, oh, you're researching this, but then this comes up and that's so interesting. What about that? And then pretty soon, 2 hours have passed and I forgot what I was researching. And it's all interesting, very stimulating, but to what end? I mean, it's just like a rat pressing a lever, waiting to get the food to come. And that doesn't seem to me to be high quality human endeavor at all. I haven't really thought through how to set it up so that I'm reminded when I'm tempted that I don't want to do that anymore. That's the way it is with addictions. They form patterns in the brain. And if you kind of get into one of those grooves, it can just kind of lead over and over. Just keep doing that thing. And much easier to abstain. That's one of the powerful things about abstaining from addictive substances and addictive situations. Just, no, I don't go there. I don't do that. Because there are these residual, easily hooked into channels in the brain. And we can build new ones. The brain is wonderfully malleable. And with consciousness, we can help our brains heal and change and be much more on our side, on the side of our soul, rather than on the side of whoever's out there wanting to sell us crap ideas, crap politics, crap fear, whoever's out there wanting to sell that stuff. It's really easy to get hooked in. And the algorithms know exactly where your buttons are. So the less the algorithms know about you, the better. Probably more structural ways to still use the power of this thing that seems to be with us. What Anna Lemke talks about, like, I can't remember the term she uses in Dopamine Nation, but like you make structural rules. You just don't do that, and you don't do that, and you limit your time by this. And many things that have been problematic can be managed so that they're not so problematic for some people. And some people, abstinence is it. If you want to become a free human being, you have to make that choice once. No, I don't do that. I don't go there anymore, ever. And then eventually the longing, the craving for that pretty much recedes way back in the background. If you think you are probably wasting time, not really feeling deeply like you're being guided by your own inner soul sense, your own inner truth sense, your own inner feeling sense, like you've lost touch with knowing what you really want or value, or knowing what your own truth is about things, knowing how you feel. If you've lost track of that and you've gotten really into this, checking your phone so many times a day or an hour, checking your messages, letting people interrupt you whenever they want to, getting all these notifications from all these different places, I highly recommend stopping it all for a little while. Now, Anna Lemke, I believe, says, I think she said 21 days of dopamine fasting, where you get rid of all those highly stimulating dopamine creating or stimulating activities and substances and media till your brain recalibrates and it's not craving that anymore. It's not craving. The weird part about dopamine is even the thought of doing the highly stimulating thing is stimulating. Just the thought of it. And so you kind of have to really change things. And it's not a walk in the park. The other problem with all of the news and all of the influencer culture and what I call celebrity culture, I think it erodes people's own sense of value because they're not rich, or they're not beautiful, or they're not 35, or they're not 60 looking like they're 35. And as if that's a well-lived life. I mean, that's not the definition of a well-lived life. Lots of money, lots of exposure, lots of beauty in this made-up beauty sense, like what's beautiful anymore? This very manipulated, airbrushed image of human beings, instead of beauty being the light in their eyes, their tears, their joy, their laughter, their courage. You know, there's so much that's beautiful that doesn't have anything to do with celebrity culture. I think it's really hard, maybe harder for women than men, because there's so many images of what we thought was beautiful. And we can get hooked into this state of comparison or regret. I think that's another thing about just way back, way lower, not looking at that stuff anymore. Yeah. Looking at your real friend's eyes and seeing who that is, seeing what that friend is doing, actually hearing a real human voice, not seeing a bunch of words that say things with emojis. Are you kidding me? An emoji? It's like this very superficial thing. I'm hooked on the people I love and the sensations that come back to life when we slow down enough to appreciate them. Going for a walk when it's 18 degrees out with Tim in the morning and seeing the gorgeous colors and the kind of hurt on my face because it's so cold. And it's like, oh, there's this whole world out here that's worth being in. I don't need to be in the confines of this, this cell phone, this virtual. I mean, there's a reason why it's called virtual. It's not real. It's virtually real. It's kind of real, but it's not real. It's virtual. What does that mean anyway? An artificial intelligence? Are you kidding me? Why are we putting those two words together? Artificial with intelligence? No, it's not intelligence at all. It's all artificial. It's all programmed. That's not intelligence. That's a bunch of stuff happening. That's all artificial and no real, deep, profound intelligence. And we're all being sold this without even knowing. We don't even know because it's so subtle. It just is part of life now. Try a media fast if you don't know what else to do to make your life different and better. Just try it. Just see what happens. See how hard it is. It's okay if it's hard. If it's hard, it means this is big. This is something to really look at. And make a choice. You get to choose whether you want to be controlled by technology or if you want to reclaim your life. I hope you have the courage to try it if you have any question about whether this is an issue for you. I hope you have the courage to try it because you're worth it.